Today we're looking at solving linear equations and inequalities. I'm just going to walk you through. This should be a review of Algebra 1, but just to give you a reminder on how to work some of these problems. On number 1, we start here and we have x over 3 minus 2 equals 5 minus 1. We want to simplify anything we can on either side. So if we notice on the right hand side, we know that 5 minus 1 is 4. That leaves us with x over 3 minus 2. Our goal is to get x by itself, and so the things that are in the way are this divide by 3 and minus 2. We want to go in reverse order of operations, so we're going to start with getting rid of this minus 2. We always do the opposite, so since this is a minus 2, we're going to add 2 to both sides, keeping in mind you want to always do the same thing to both sides. That'll give us an equal 6 on the right-hand side, the negative 2 and positive 2. Add to 0, so we're left with x divided by 3. If we want to get rid of that 3 on the bottom, since x is being divided by 3, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to multiply both sides by 3. 3 times x over 3, the 3's will divide out to 1. They cancel out, so we're left with x equals 6 times 3, which is 18. Again, you can always go back in and plug in your answer. So if we have 18 divided by 3, which is 6, minus 2 is 4. So we end up with 4 as an answer on the on the left-hand side. 5 minus 1 is 4, so we get 4 to equal 4. We know that x is equal to 18. If it wants you to graph this on a number line, here's our number line. X is only equal to 18, so there's only one answer here. So at 18, x is equal to it. We're going to put a closed dot at 18, showing that x is equal to 18. Our second problem that we're going to look at is an inequality. So when we look at this inequality, it says 4x plus 11 is greater than or equal to 22 minus the quantity x minus 4. There's nothing to simplify on the left-hand side, okay, because we just have 4x plus 11. On the right-hand side, we have this minus, and then in parentheses, x minus 4. We need to distribute that minus out to everything in the parentheses, since it goes to everything in the parentheses. So we have 4x plus 11 greater than or equal to 22. This negative is going to distribute to both terms, so we'll have minus x, and then a minus negative 4, or a minus minus 4, is going to be plus 4. Now if we look on this right-hand side, we have a 22 and a positive 4, so a positive 22 and a positive 4. Those are like terms, so we can go ahead and combine them. So we still have 4x plus 11 on the left. Then 22 plus 4, since they're both positive, we just add them together, gives us 26, and we still have our minus x. Our goal is to get our x's by themselves, so I'm going to move this x on the right-hand side. I'm going to move it over to the 4x on the left-hand side. In order to do that, since this is a minus x, we'll do the opposite, so I'm going to add x to both sides. Here the x's add to 0, so we're left with 26. Greater than or equal to. Here we have 4x plus x, which is 5x plus 11. We're still trying to get x by itself, so the next thing we need to do is get rid of this 11. We need to move it, so we're going to subtract 11, so that way we just have our 5x by itself. We do that, the 11's add to 0, so we got 5x is greater than or equal to 26 minus 11 is 15. We want to get x by itself, so we divide by 5. And that gives us x is greater than or equal to 3. When we show this on a number line, we've got the quantity 3. This is greater than or equal to, so we'll use a closed dot. If it was just a greater than, we would use an open dot. We want x to be greater than 3, so we're going to shade the side of the number line where x is greater than 3. So any number where x is greater than 3 is going to be a solution to this inequality. The other things that come up when we're doing inequalities. Let me switch to a new page. When we're doing inequalities, if we end up with something that's negative 3x is less than or equal to 9, let's say, and we go to solve for x, when we divide by a negative, so when we divide by this negative 3, when you multiply or divide by a negative, so we're going to say multiply or divide by a negative, when we do that, we need to flip our sign. So when we go to this next step, those will divide to 1. We've got x. Now my sign is going to switch and face the other direction. Now it's going to say x is greater than or equal to -3. So when we divide by or multiply by a negative, we need to flip the sign, flip the symbol, the inequality symbol. Okay, and it'll face the other direction. So if we were to graph this one, here's -3, it's an equal to, so we'll use a closed dot, and we're going to shade where x is greater than that.